What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Shimer Fantasy Battle Report's got another battle report for today. It's the Strength in Numbers 2023, round number one, guys. Guys, what is going on? It's your boy James here. All right, let's get to you this battle report, man. So, first of all, I'm basically doing a lot of things right now, a lot of projects. I got baseball cards that I'm working with for my dad's baseball cards, trying to get rid of those, sell those. Started putting my comic books away, making sure that they're graded or taken care of at least. And then what I ended up doing was, we were trying to get strength in numbers. It was me, Phil, Carl, John, and originally it was my brother. My brother ended up getting another job, so basically we had to find a replacement. We ended up finding Ian Holland. Now, Ian, if you guys watch my Halloween Havoc videos, he was my second round opponent, and Ian has a love-hate relationship, I would like to say, with this game. I think that most of us all have. A lot of us have this love-hate relationship with this game. I've seen Ian dominate in a WCW game, and then I've also watched Ian get the wooden spoon at Hogfest. So it was kind of fun to have Ian come out. Not only that, but we had a road trip, and it was a very fun road trip, actually. It went by very fast, and been dealing with a lot of stress at work. There is a incident where somebody dropped a wheel, look at this, at midnight, down the stairs. These wheels probably weigh like 600 pounds, and it destroyed a bunch of stuff down those stairs. So I was just stressed out on the ride. But Ian basically was, pretty chill and understood. We got there early, and I never, ever get there that early, as early as we did. Basically hung out with Phil, Carl, and Joel, and we just hung out in the gaming store the day before. We ended up helping Jeff Parker's set up the terrain. So basically, anybody who came to this tournament and was bitching about the terrain, it was my fault, or Phil Carl's. And for the record, you can see it in this picture right here. We put a water terrain in every center of every table just for hold the center. We were being dicks. We were being malicious. Some of them, this is one of them, I would put a hill right in front of that water terrain. So basically, you're going to have to be like, oh shit, I could get charged by something down the hill into the water. Anyways, this is actually a picture of Phil Carl's army. He set it up the day before. And this is his Jade Undying Dynasties. He missed the mark on the terracotta, but he basically wanted his characters the way he got them. So he was like, I couldn't do a terracotta with that. Anyways, we are playing the Green Dragons. Now, I do have pictures of them individually, but the Green Dragons was our round one opponent. Just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up in my notes here. Let's see, tournaments, my tournaments, strength in numbers. So, there's 14 teams that came out to strength in numbers. 14, okay? Now, out of all these teams, there's good players in every single team, or almost every single team. And what ended up happening is I told Phil from the get-go, we have a really good team. Between me, John, and Phil, we have three players who are up in the upper 20s or mid-20s and up in the North Americas. John is actually number one in Canada, but number 3 in the United States. I'm number 1 in Mexico, but I'm also like number 20-something, 22 or 21, somewhere around there in the United States. And Phil, I think, was like 26. Ian, unfortunately, is not that high up on the list because Ian doesn't really go to tournaments much. So I brought Ian out here. I was really excited about this, to bring Ian out there. And I was like, we have a really good chance at running this tournament. So every team has somebody that you're just like, ooh, I don't really want to fight that person. We ended up getting matched up against the Green Dragons. Green Dragons, I don't know how Slender Ben or Brian Hulley play. I do actually know how Brian Hulley played. I played him a long time ago, but that was ages ago. He could get better. He could have got worse. Who knows? But Ryan Stottle is a top tier player, and so is Mark Charlone. Mark Charlone is playing a KOE army, and then not only that, but I played Mark Charlone 3 days before this. on Universal Battle, and we had a 10-10 game. Now, the thing is, Mark made a giant mistake, and he flew into my giant with his general, and his general got crushed by a great weapon giant. Mark's not going to do that again, so I was already saying, like, I don't want to face Mark. And we kind of had this conversation on who should face Mark, right? Should it be John? And John was like, "Oh, I could take Mark. Oh yeah, I could take Mark." You know. And so we were like, "Okay." Phil said he would take Ryan Astado, so I was like, "All right." So from the get go, I'm trying to remember. I think I threw out Phil first to bait out their cards, and if we bait out Mark for Phil, because we know Mark would probably want Phil, I would just hold John and just have John fight Mark, alright? Which means Ryan got to fight Phil. Meaning Slender Ben and Brian Hulley ended up going to me and Ian, which they got to choose who fought who. They ended up choosing Brian Hulley for Ian, and they ended up giving me Slender Ben with his Warriors of the Dark Gods. So here we go. We got Warriors of the Dark Gods versus Orcs and Goblins. Alright, so let's go over his list really quick. He has a Sorcerer on a Battle Shrine. Now he has a Feldrak Ancestor with a great weapon, Cleansing Light. He has 23 warriors that the battle shrine goes in, 8 barbarian horsemen, 6 Feldraks, a Feldrak Elder, and 2 flayers. All right. So let's go over the magic. He got Ancestral Aid, Spectral Blades, and Hellfire and Wrath of God. I think, is that all he had? No, he had Touch of the Reaper. As for me, I ended up taking Fireball, Pyro Flow, Rod of Battle. I ended up getting Ancestral Aid as well, and I believe I took the Hereditary, which is currently bringing the pain on this picture here. And I think I didn't take Flaming Sword. I think I might have just took Cinder Cloak of Cinders. All right. So we're playing Classic Battle. We're playing Hold the Center. Like I said, the centers in the middle of the tables are water for terrain on most of the tables. People were just bitching about it the whole day, and I thought that was awesome. People are like, "Oh no, I have infantry. How the hell am I supposed to hold the center in the fucking water?" I'm sorry, guys. I'm evil sometimes. This is Jeff Parker's fault for trusting me to put the terrain down. Anyways, go ahead and deploy like this. Now on the left, I ended up having 2 of my K-Pack. I have the Spider Riders. I put them on the hill on the Vanguard. I go ahead and I move my generals. Chosen to the Crab right there next to them. I got my 25 cave goblins with poison spears, and apparently they have bows. I did not know they have bows, for the record. The whole tournament, I basically played them with no bows because I thought I didn't pay extra points for them to have bows. I got my 38 goblins with bows and shields and spears. I got my big brick of savages in the right. I got Ruckus on the right. I have another K-Pack, and then I have Cletus on the far right, and then behind them I have my other orcs with bows. Alright, go ahead and deploy like this. This is how my opponent deploys. He has his 2 regular Feldrak Elders on the left there. Then he has his Barbarian Horseman, his Warrior Shrine, his Feldrak, what are they called? The Feldrak, just Feldraks. That's all they are. And then on the right, he has his Ancestor, and then he has his Flayed ones. Alright. Turn 1. Warriors of the Dark Gods. He goes ahead and he moves up like this, and immediately, he's going to go up to the flank of my units, of my giant, and as well as my chariots. I immediately was like, "Oh, I already made a mistake. I gave him somewhere to go to my flank," and he could just annoy me the rest of the tournament by just popping off the little like lashes, right? Now, for the record, here's a picture of everybody else playing. We got John in the corner playing against Mark Charlone. You are not imagining anything. That is a My Little Pony army. That is seriously, I swear to God, a My Little Pony army. Look at that. That is crazy. Funny part is, you actually could tell what everything is. He has a little thing that he passes out to you that he can show you what every unit is. But basically, you're looking at ponies. That's what they are, ponies. As for Phil's playing against Orcs and Goblins here, and then we have on the left of me Ian playing against his Sylvan Elf army opponent. But I got him at the early deployment. I think his opponent just walked away. All right, so right here, this is turn 1, Warriors of the Dark Gods. He goes ahead and he moves up. Now he isn't really worried about my Spider Riders. He puts his Horsemen there. He puts his Elders up. I think his Elders were just kind of set back because they were afraid of getting hit by a chariot, more or less. But besides that, he didn't really give a shit, I think. He started working on the objective right away. He moves up just in 6 inches. And then over here, you could see he has his other Feldrak coming up. Magic, he ends up getting a Hellfire off onto my Goblins, kills off 4 Goblins. That's it. I mean, he's Warriors. He doesn't have shooting. That was the only magic that really happened. It's going to start off turn 1. Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins turn 1. I pop my Maulers out in this unit. He had... I explained it before we started the game. My Maulers can pop out in this unit. He's like, yep, okay. As soon as it starts, I'm like, Maulers pop out in this unit, and I'm going to charge downhill into that unit of Horsemen. And he was like, oh, shit. They have great weapons in that unit, so I'm just going to hit them. I'm going to kill a bunch of these Horsemen. I don't really care, because I think I'll actually pop them with the 3 Maulers and the Spiders, right? He decides, I'm going to flee. So he flees. He fled, okay? I redirect. I need like an 11 or 12 to get into the flank of, I guess, the fucking Warriors. I guess. I'm not even really too worried about it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. At least I'm just, fleeing. Then if he charges me with something, I just flee, yada, 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 whatever, right? Well, I get in. Boom! Oh, shit. I rolled it on the first roll, too. I was like, oh, shit. Whoops. Whoops. I was like, well, I guess that happened. I go in the back basically because if I could kill some guys before he goes, hopefully I don't get all his attacks back. But since he's held up, I decided to just pop my Relentless Banner on my Goblins, move them up, all right, and move my Chariot in the left there behind them, move my Savages up. My Savages really don't have anything to worry about right now. He's going to charge with his Feldrak Elders. If he does, he's going to be charging through the water, which I don't think he really cares about that, but I have Spears. I'll hold Steadfast. I might flank him with the Goblins. I think that's all good. I think my Maulers technically should hold for this round, so I think I'll be okay there. So in reality, I just kind of like move my Giants around, make sure they don't get charged, move my Chariots around so they don't get charged, and just let's focus fire on stuff. Alright, Magic got a 7 on the Flux. Go ahead and I get Spectral Blade, or not, Ancestral 8 on this unit, which after I did it, I was like, I didn't really need that. I already have Hatred. I go ahead and I give them -1 to hit on his unit. Close combat, he ends up killing one of my Maulers. He ends up doing 2 wounds on 2 Spiders. I end up killing off, it looks like 3 guys. Now, I have a charge, a flank, and 3 wounds, but he has 3 ranks, a banner, and then he's done 4 wounds, or 3 wounds. I lose combat. I try to stick. I try. But it didn't happen. I fail. He doesn't chase. He's going to stay there. And my... oh, he killed more. He killed... Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. So 6 wounds. So I lose by a lot. They're going to go ahead and flee, and he's just going to stay there. I bounce off of him, and that's okay. I think that's okay. It was a little bit unexpected, but at the start of the turn, what I'm going to do is pop off my Fanatics, and it's going to start off Warriors of the Dark Gods, turn number 2. Turn number 2, Warriors. He calls his timeout. He calls his timeout right off the bat. Okay. I'm like, alright, cool. So I'm going to take pictures. Here's a picture of Ian playing his game. Here's a picture of Phil Carl and Ryan Stottle's game. And Phil has talked me into buying one of these dice trays. They're fucking great, by the way. I think mine's smaller than that one, though. Meh. Over here's John's game with the ponies. John is starts to struggle early on, I believe. As you can see, he's telling me it's like, eh. Alright. So, after the timeout, and part of the reason why, and for the record, John doesn't finish his game with Mark, but part of the reason for that was because of the timeouts. So that was the first timeout. He decided to, I heard the end of the timeout, but Mark told him to charge like this. He's going to charge the Feldrax into my Goblins. I flee, of course. The big unit of Goblins with my Wizard. I flee. Okay? He's like, cool. He's going to redirect, and he's going to charge both the warriors and the Feldrax into the savages. When he rolls to redirect, he fails the roll. He's like, shit. What that does is he doesn't want to send the warriors in alone into 40 savage orcs. And he was just like, motherfucker. So he decides to just fail the charge, and he will stumble forward. These guys do not rally. They run off the table. That is fucking awesome that the Maulers caused them to just run off the table. He chaffs me here. He does a wound onto Ruckus, and then he comes over here and does a wound onto my chariot. Up here, he ends up getting off Spectral Blades here because he expects me. He tried to get the reroll a hit, the Ancestral Aid. I decided to stop that one. So he does get Spectral Blades off here. And it's going to start off turn 2. Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. I go ahead and I charge Workers into the Flayeds. I don't really care. And I charge my Savages into the water. And he's like, aha! Dangerous terrain. I was like, aha! I took Strider Banner. Fuck that shit. The Stalker Standard. I'm not going through that shit, man. I learned my lesson, man. These savages are always gonna have the Stalker Standard. It's just so much better that way. I threw a fanatic through this unit, ended up only killing off like one guy. So I decided to not throw the other one in and just basically have him just chilling close by. What is this picture? Don't know. All right, close combat. What happened to Magic? Was that a picture of Magic? It is. Magic, I ended up getting a -1 to hit off on his unit here, and that's basically it. That was the only spell I got off. There was nothing really to shoot at over here. Ruckus is only going to kill 2 of these guys. 3 of them are going to live, but they fail to wound me, so they will run. He fails that charge there. Over here, the Savages get Lethal Strike. Getting Lethal Strike, I ended up killing off 2 of his Feldrax and doing a wound onto the 3rd one. He goes back and he ends up killing, looks like about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys. But I think that I just stick there on a steadfast roll. I don't think there's much to it. As you can see, the Goblin is just kind of around with his ball and chain. I use my other Goblins as chaff so he can't get me in the flank of my Orcs, okay? So he's going to have to run through the Fanatic. He's going to have to hit the freaking Goblins. And that. Now there's one variable here, and I know it, and I think he knows it too, is his, and for the record, my Maulers rallied, but it's his Feldrak on the left. If his Feldrak on the left causes a terror check on my Goblins, I'm fucked. Okay, let's go into turn 3. Warriors of the Dark Gods. Warriors of the Dark Gods, turn 3. He charges my unit of Maulers that's in his way. I don't fail my terror check. Woo! Oh, that was close. I was worried because, like, look at how far back my general is. My general's not close enough to those Goblins, and I don't even know why. Like, as I look at it, I don't know why I'm that far back, but I'm so far away that I can't help from a terror check anyways. Yeah. He does have the Feldrak in the back that could charge, but I think I think it's either a far charge, and he has the hill, but I think he just doesn't really want to risk it. So yeah, that's about it. Magic, let's see. Magic, he got a 7 on the flux, goes ahead and he gets Spectral Blades up on his big guy. Actually, I think it's on the unit. Over here, the Mauler ends up putting a wound on him. He fails. He whiffs hard. I think he tries to kill the Mauler, but they're distracting, and he just whiffs hard on the Maulers. So he has a charge, I have a wound, and we just stay there. He's like, ah, shit. Over here, I end up rolling Lightning Reflexes. So I'm going to get +1 to hit on all these motherfuckers. And when you know what I do? I end up killing off. I get like a shit ton of hits in Battle Focus. I end up doing, let's see, that was 3 wounds there, 3 more wounds, 6, and then I did 10 wounds total. 10 wounds. Now, he does fuck me up. His Feldrak Ancestor does his breath weapon, and he just fucks... Or no, he doesn't do his breath weapon. He just fucks me up entirely. So he basically pops my unit. My guys will run. He will chase with his Feldrak. Now, right now, this is the top of 3. We tied the first round for the objective. His guy runs my savages right off the table. Okay, so at this point, I'm just worried about like maybe get the first point of the objective. At the same token, his Feldric ancestor ran this way, and as you can see, I have my orcs there and my chariot there, but I could just walk out of his line of sight, and nobody else is back there. So I don't really care if he goes for that side. I just have to worry about his Feldrex right now. All right, let's go start. Turn 3, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. I charge Cletus into the ass of these Feldrex. At the same time, at the compulsory phase, I throw my Fanatic into the Feldrex. When I do that, I end up killing off. I do 4 wounds. I kill one straight up. Leaving just the one there with 1 wound remaining. Oh, that's brutal. I go ahead and I move my orcs up into the objective, like I said. What I ended up doing, there was goblins still back there. Since his ancestor ran back here, I put Ruckus in the way and basically left Ruckus to chaff his Feldric ancestor. I left my orcs close enough so I could take the weapon if I want to use great weapon on that guy. I can. And it looked like my general charged but I failed to charge. I moved my goblin chariots back to use them as chaff. I actually like that they have a dual purpose. They have the purpose of obviously ramming shit, but since they're 150 points, they are chaff as well. So I go ahead and I did that back there. I put him right behind so he doesn't really fuck over my goblins. I'm just trying to protect my shaman. All right. Magic! Get a fireball. Kill the 5 flayed ones that were on this corner. Over here, close combat, Cletus just wipes off the last wound before he even gets his chance to swing. Over here, this was the biggest upset. He did a total of 3 wounds. 3, okay? My maulers got, 2 hits each. That's 4 hits. And they did 4 wounds. The spiders went, and the spiders poisoned him, like 3 poison hits, and he fucking died. Holy shit, that was so fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. He was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god, it's gonna start off his turn 4. He charges here. I'm gonna have to take it on the chin. Yeah, magic. He gets a 5 on the flux. He doesn't charge Ruckus, by the way. Goes in and drops off a Wrath of God here. That's going to happen. Over here, he ends up taking a wound from my guy, but he ends up just punking my chariot. Now, he does 2 wounds to my chariot. He has a charge, 2 wounds, and fear. I did 1. I'm down by 3. I run through my Black Orc chariots. I run through my orcs. Cause a panic on my orcs. Cause a panic. They flee. And they flee off the objective. Now, currently, I have the objective for 1 round. He moved his warriors back behind because he was afraid of Cletus. So I kept on making fun of him that he doesn't want to deal with those goblins, that it looks like the goblins are what's scaring him away. And he's like, it's not the goblins. It's everything behind the goblins that scares the shit out of him. He was talking about Ruckus and my general. And Cletus. So it puts me in an interesting spot. Now, it's going to be my turn next, right? Obviously, my orcs fleeing was not ideal, okay? But I'm looking at the guy on the left, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to charge in. I have charge, a flank, a big flank. If I do it with the goblins, I have a big flank, I have a banner, I have 3 ranks, and then I'll just challenge out with the chariot. So the chariot does however many wounds before he dies. This guy's going to run, okay? Turn 4. I do exactly that. Charge. I'm going to fuck this guy up, right? Get him. Boom, boom, like so. I move my goblins up. I'm teasing them about that. I'm getting away from the Wrath of God. Move my general up. I get my chariots basically back realigned here. And my orcs rallied. All I'm really missing is my my BSB unit right now, okay? I move my mauler out of the game, basically. I moved him to the corner, and I was like, he doesn't really need to be in the rest of the game. He's done his job. He killed the freaking Feldrak. He did his job. All right. And as you can see, his other ancestors over here. I just walk away from him. I put all my chariots towards his warriors. I'm threatening his warriors. Basically, he's going to have Cletus, the chariots, Ruckus, my general. Basically, just all threatening him. Okay? Yeah. Magic, I ended up getting -1 to hit on me, on the monster, and then I go, haha, challenge, and he's like, it's not a character, bro. Fuck! Oh shit! I thought it was a character. So he's like, I'm gonna put all your attacks into the fucking wizard. He ends up doing 2 wounds onto the wizard straight. He thunderstomps like 6 dudes though, so he's gonna hold there. I end up doing only 1 wound. I have ranks. I'm steadfast, whatever, right? I have. Let's see. He did 6, 7, 8. He has 8. I have a charge flank, big flank, banner, 3 ranks, and a wound. We tie. All right. All right. Turn 5, Warriors of the Dark Gods. He moves back here so that way Cletus would be in the front. And Magic, he got an 8 on the Flux. He ends up doing Touch of the Reaper here, does 2 wounds onto one of my K-Pack, or 3 wounds. I'm sorry, 3 wounds onto one of my K-Pack. What did he do here? He did a wound here. I don't really remember. Basically, his ancestor does his breath weapon, doing a wound to himself, but to kill Koopa. Basically, he doesn't want all the chariots going in by themselves. Over here, he ends up killing my wizard. That was a fucking mistake by me, but at the same token, my wizard's like 400 points. His guy's like 400 points. It evens out, but at the same token, that's it for my magic phase, more or less. And what ends up happening is this time he kills my wizard. He kills 3 guys, but I still have 3 ranks, a banner, a flank, and then I end up doing like a wound or 2 to him, basically causing him to run. Well, I think what he did was he did all his attacks on my wizard, so basically he only gets the one wound, and that kind of hurt him because he only did 3 wounds on the thunderstomp. So wound 3, yeah, I win by like 3. So basically he's gonna run. I make him run off the table, and that is it. It's gonna start off. Actually, our last turn, Orcs and Goblins, turn number 5. Turn number 5, I decide I could charge his ancestor, right? With my general. So I have to charge the chariot. I call my timeout to Phil. I'm like, Phil, how many points do we need? He goes, it was close. It was really close. I was like, because I could charge my goblin chariot up there, and it gets him out of the way. And then I charge my general's unit into his ancestor. Okay? And if I do that, I have a potential of killing him. But the ancestor does have a chance of killing me as well. But he has no buffs, no magic. It's the last turn of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and I charge. I charge both. Phil says go for it. I charge Rookers into the remaining flayed ones that were in my way, and Cletus can't see shit to charge. Alright, I get in. Boom! Right here. Go ahead and I just hurry this up because I think we were just running out of time. My chariot goes up there. He challenges out with a champ, and basically I have a charge and just say 4 wounds. He ends up having 3 ranks and a banner, and nothing happens there. I move my goblins away just in case they panic. Didn't want them to panic. I do have the objective now. As for the fight with my general, he ends up doing 3 wounds to me. I end up doing 3 wounds to him. I have a charge and a banner. He loses combat, but he just stays there. And that's it. That's the end of the game. Woo! It was a fun game. I don't have any pictures of the or any videos of me talking to anybody after the game, mainly because the time was limited. It was like, all right, we're done with this game. We got to get to the next one, or we got to go to lunch, or whatever. And I honestly just forgot for the most part. Could have got it at the end for sure. But yeah, that's how it went. I ended up getting a small win. It wasn't a big win. It was a oh, it was 15-5 on Ben. Now, as for my teammates, John ended up getting a small loss against Mark. Now, if Mark's watching or if John's watching, I know John watches my videos. John did say he could have gotten a bigger win if they finished the game. They couldn't finish the game because Mark got called 3 times for 3 different timeouts, and Mark and John are not the fastest players. I actually made the joke in the car ride there. I told Ian, I go, man, Ian, if John and Mark play out, I'm surprised if they get past turn 4. And that's basically what happened. I think maybe they got turn 5. I'm not sure. Phil Carl, he ended up losing against Ryan Stottle. He missed a fucking 10 charge, and his chaff was dead, and it was just pretty bad. So Phil ended up getting 5. Me and him washed our points, basically. So it's all up on Ian. Can Ian get 14 points on Brian. Ian got 12. You know what? I'm actually proud of Ian. He got us 12 points. Phil and John, letting me down, guys. Letting me down. The total score was 39-41. We lost by 1 point. And technically 2, but 1 point because it's if we get one, they lose one. And yeah, that was it, man. Oof, that was a tough game. All right. Next game. Let me just see. Just true. I just want to make sure it is who it is. All right. Next game I'll get to you guys soon is actually against the WCW Expendables, which is Judson, Adam Hilton, Drew H, and Rob Shenevert. I don't know. I'm butchering his name. He doesn't watch this video. I can tell you that. All right, guys. Whew, hope you guys enjoy that. I enjoy making it. And until next time. Look at that. It's a short video, 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. All right. I feel like I have to talk about something else. So, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. All right. All right, guys. Until next time. Take care and